Hi, I'm Sarah Shepard. I am the Assistant Registrar here at the Coordinating Office of the Survey in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I've been in this position since 2018, but prior to that I've been with the survey in some form since 2012. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in history from the University of Central Arkansas in Conway in 2010. And I did not know at that point that anthropology or archaeology was actually a career choice. But that summer I attended the annual society training program. It was at Toltec Mound State Park just outside of Little Rock. And the unit that I got put in that first week, the floor was just entirely covered in faunal bones of the unit, the floor of the unit. So I was down there getting to excavate with a small pick and a brush and a little scoop, just brushing all of the dirt off of the bones, and I thought that was the coolest thing that I'd gotten to do. So at that point I decided that I wanted to pursue archaeology a little bit more, and I hadn't had any courses or any other experience besides that, so I decided I wanted to go learn a little bit more about it. And I went to the University of Oklahoma and got a second bachelor's degree. All of my credits transferred, all of my gen eds or general education credits. So I basically just took all of the anthropology or archaeology courses I could that met the requirements for the bachelor's degree, and that took a year. In the summer of 2011, the University of Oklahoma partnered with OSU and did a field school in northern Oklahoma, just south of Kansas, at the Bryson Paddock site, which was an ancestral Wichita village that was trading with the French. And it was just an experience like I had never had before. It was a month-long excavation, and I met some of the best people I know that are still some of my greatest friends to this day. So it was just one of the best experiences I've ever had. So that kind of solidified for me that this was what I wanted to do. So I graduated from there in 2011. I started working at the lab here in Fayetteville with Dr. Ann Early in 2012, going through some collections that belonged to the Corps. And then in 2013, I started grad school here. I had the Hester A. Davis internship in public archaeology from 2013 to 2014, in which I helped Dr. Early with whatever kind of projects she had going. And then from 2014 to 2016, I was funded by a grant from the National Park Service, where I focus on a project of bringing the survey up to meet NAGPRA compliance. So NAGPRA is the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. It was passed in 1990, and since that point, different people have identified things in the survey collections that needed to be repatriated, which means ownership of those collections is turned back over to the tribe to which those things collections, human remains, or associated funerary objects or unassociated funerary objects belong to. So we had those items identified, but they hadn't gone through the final process yet, which is being written up into a report that is sent to the NPS, National Park Service office, and those are published in the Federal Register. So it's a few different kinds of notices that get published there, and tribes can see those publications and claim what they believe belongs to them. So my project was to finish to get things that had started off kind of identified but hadn't been repatriated yet to the point where they could be claimed and turned back over. So I still do that with collections that are identified, and like I said, I work in the registrar's office, which means that I assign new site numbers to locations that are documented by contractors, or people from our stations, anybody working in the state of Arkansas. If they believe they've identified a new site, they'll fill out a site form, mark the location and send it to us, and we check our records, and if it's not been identified before, then I assign a new site number for that. We work with new projects that are going on, deal with the reports that come from those, any artifact collections that come from those. I help maintain the Amazda database online, which has site forms, project reports. We've got a GIS database, there's slides, information on photos, all kinds of stuff like that we have that we make accessible to anybody working in the state that's qualified to have that information. A lot of what we document and curate here is exempt from the Freedom of Information Act, so we have to make sure that anybody that's getting access to this information has the right to do so. We've also been working on 3D scanning artifacts and creating a virtual curation database, so I get to work on that as well. I usually attend the training program every year, and I do presentations on some of what we're doing throughout the year. So hopefully I'll get to meet some of you through that, and I enjoy doing my job. I think it's pretty cool, and hopefully we'll get to share some of what we know and what we learn with you guys. So it's nice to meet you.